Time for another milestone video. This is another obscure waterway of Calgary. It's the outflow stream from the fish hatchery. And it's only one of several interesting features around here. Time to say thanks again to everybody. It's certainly a surprise to me. I've thought so many times that my channel would never get this far, and it's wonderful to have made it to this point. There are lots of interesting things around this spot as I try to show you some of the natural sounds that when I tried to duplicate them freaked you out last time. I think it should be quite a restful thing because the lowest pitch that I produced in my last video is the most relaxed thing I can think of to produce vocally. There's no hissing, there's no friction or rubbing together of the vocal cords, it's just breathing. And a lot of popular relaxation videos are recording of someone breathing, for instance, while sleeping. And the lighting I used was like a dark room. It's designed to not use like the blue light, the sorts of frequencies of light that keep people from falling asleep. Like the way that you wouldn't want to overdevelop film. Not that very many people develop film with chemicals anymore these days, so maybe they don't realize the potential of that sort of light as something you would use to relax or reduce tension. I think maybe some of you ought to cut down on the number of sleep paralyzation demon videos you watch. They seem preconditioned to sort of reject anything that might be potentially very restful simply because of its color or because of the expectations built up from watching other videos. So I found, this is one of several methods I've seen over the years and that I've talked about on the channel, where there's essentially this attempt to outlaw or demonize breathing. You shouldn't be feeling anxious about hearing somebody breathe, it seems to me, and particularly in a low tone. Those are the ones that are potentially the most relaxing, it seems to me. But also the ones that have been cast in media as the tones that the evil people or the villains use. Often the lowest voiced person is the one who's the bad one. But if you have that attitude, that preconception, then that might deter or take away from your capacity to use it for relaxation. And it seems to me there's a bit of a subculture of these videos that keep people from using the relaxation potential of low tones and gentle light. The light I used was from a bed light, a reading light that you clamp onto a book at night, and it had that orange tone to it because it was designed to be used while one person is sitting in bed next to another one who's sleeping and doesn't want to wake that person up. So it would minimize the glare and just light up the little bit of the page that one is reading. Now, across the river from me here is the spot where I did my 70,000 thank you video, the one that had the hidden spring. And also just behind me, there's the head gate for the irrigation canal. And just across the way here, there is the outlet of Nose Creek, which is an interesting spot because I met someone there who came to see nature because there was a beaver in the creek, and sometimes the beavers go and live in the irrigation canal too. There are people who watch every little thing the beavers are doing from day to day, or the escapees from the fish hatchery rather than the officially sanctioned fish from the fish hatchery, and the osprey. There are all sorts of animals around here that people monitor from day to day and feel like they're part of a community with them. Just across from me there is Nose Creek, and that creek no sooner enters the Bow River than it's diverted out again. The water on that side of the river is to go into the irrigation canal. Just behind me here is the zoo, and the people who are living or walking by a stone's throw of from the zoo would go to Nose Creek to see the beaver as an example of nature, which is kind of ironic. But there is one of the spots that people like to observe around here, and that's a little tower behind me with osprey nesting in it. I think you can actually see them on camera that I've been told that monitors them all the time. And just behind that, there's the island. So there's one branch of the river that flows around. A nice Chinook arch as well with downtown in the background. And that is the spot where part of the river goes around to the north side of the island, which most of the zoo is on. And it virtually runs dry for right now. Water's very low, and in the wintertime. So you can almost walk across it. Another spot where you can do that almost is what used to be called the drowning machine. It's a weir on the river where at one time there was this 3-foot drop where they would divert the water into the irrigation canal, and that was a dangerous spot to be because it would make this churning effect, and any craft going over there could get caught up and not be able to get out. So that has had breaches made in it now, so it's safer, and it's the headworks of an artificial set of rapids where people come and do boarding of all kinds and kayaking and so on. So it's now been made safe, and would probably be quite a difficult thing for a beaver to try to understand why someone would make this dam that's never swept away and then punch holes in it. So, beavers are probably quite mystified by the whole thing. Well, those are some of the altered water features around here. One of the most reworked and busy areas of the Bow River in Calgary.